fanatic. I go, you lose and win like asthmatic. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons. In the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chick. I don't fake split the just cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up, nigga. I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch. I had to get it, it's vivid. Adapt it to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do. Certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday. You're like more when the rent by $1 for every dollar counted. I would be broke. Watch it be close. Got a better chance. Spots in the go. And they know I'm raw. And they know the spot. And I'm feeling lost. Still in charge. I don't make you follow. I follow the law. Standing tall like they on Mars. I just got a call from my bro. He behind the wall. He told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat. I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated. I got that guy in me. You can focus on the dimes. I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, so know you won't fly with me now.
I try and make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna be the devil. Y'all out here looking like fools. Home truth. I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up. Man, y'all try and make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fools. Home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up. Man, y'all try and make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gonna pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fools. Home of the truth. Y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
Seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man, and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. Tell me we don't live in hell. My brother doing 55 in his cell. Nigga claiming he your round here spin shell. Same nigga you put on to hit the standing tail. How the fuck you turn your back on a nigga that loves? Treat your kids like my kids, treat you like a brother. I told my dog, let's leave the streets to serve the most high. He said, fuck that shit, he trying to sell another pot. His daddy killed him, put him in the trunk, set him on fire. His wife was pregnant, he ain't never get to see his child. Had me thinking to myself, what happened if I die? Look my babies in the eyes, I gotta stay alive. I put my ego on the shelf and my pride to the side. I'm with some niggas who gon' step and got God on their side. Got in the ISUPK, they keep asking me why. As I do the work of the Lord, I gotta stay alive. Face the east, pray alive. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
You ever pump a pack with a snake by your side? Yes, I did. A man reach out to God before he died? Yes, I did. I know the Lord forgive us for these sins, but I'm starting to think the kingdom of heaven is for these kids. I told my daughter, there's one man in your bed, I won't stand for less. For my son, I hit your head on that fragile legs. I lost some niggas to that dope, I lost niggas to the feds. Remember John tried to stick me for that cheese on that bread, yeah, I was thugging with Lucky, and that nigga left me for dead. Endured to the end, cause I listened to what was said. Mother told me she loved me when she was sick up in the bed. I was running them streets, but the truth made me a man. She don't really speak, cause she'll never understand. That's why I ain't even tell her about these voices in my head. I'm still trying to manage my anger like Uncle Craig.
I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Don't have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down the ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Florida Lee on my top, this a Saints hat. This a third Kempy been in here, J Cat. Nigga tryna steal the sauce, yeah, I hate that. But I ain't make the rules, I can't change that. New bottle, new wine, yeah, I can't crack. Look, flag on the play, they grabbing face masks. Niggas always saving hoes where your cape at. The only killer that you know without no face tag. Hell yeah, my bitch bad, Proverbs 31. Yeah, this is not a drill, I be 30'd up. Yeah, about to crack the sky, you better hurry up. It's all bad when you see us hang that jersey up. It's mad brick, I got the blick with my cover on. He a fed, he a op, got his cover blown. Look, I'm really outside without no skilly on. It's one West, bitch, I'm on with my brothers on. He got ranked, then he left, he broke another oath. I got to play, we about to take another zone. They was sleeping on the team, now they comatose. Left his brother out to dry, I guess he wanna fall. Put the oil on his head, that's another soul. I try to tell him we apart, don't do this shit at home. She unhappy, left her man, she a 304. He try to justify that shit, he broke the penal code. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Gotta watch these niggas, they be COINTEL. LeBron ain't never killed nobody, but I know he will. It's on me, yeah, where I go, yeah, that's the holy seal. My niggas itching when it's up, you better not touch a chair. Ooh, I'm with the extra, that's on the back. He ain't loyal to his brothers, how you follow that? She either working with her hands or she off her bag. Bro, bitches, yeah, they done that give me a heart attack. You see the banner above my head, I'm a part of that. These niggas cowards, pussies, we don't want no parts in that. They let our warrior out of prison, he ain't going back. And they'll be speaking on the truth, cause we with all of that. Look, before they started dissing, there was fans first. You will never catch me digging in no man purse. Really put my brick in, that's why my hands hurt. And don't be speaking bullshit that make my head hurt. Look, I done burn my fingers from the Michael Drake. For the brotherhood, I done threw my life away. I never see them, tell them come out from their hiding place. We can't do it, we told them we gon' find a way. They'd rather march 1,000 deep, we rather feed the people. They wouldn't put on all black, now he reading Hebrew. You became the standard if you speak on Hebrew. Don't think they solid, get with them niggas just gon' leave you. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Niggas try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship.
Ooh, 27 Club.
Right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Niggas try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Florida Lee on my top, this a Saints hat. This the third Kempy been in here, J Cat. Nigga tryna steal the sauce, yeah, I hate that. But I ain't make the rules, I can't change that. New bottle, new wine, yeah, I can't crack. Look, flag on the play, they grabbing face masks. Niggas always saving hoes where your cape at. The only killer that you know without no face tag. Hell yeah, my bitch bad, Proverbs 31. Yeah, this is not a drill, I be 30'd up. Yeah, about to crack the sky, you better hurry up. It's all bad when you see us hang that jersey up. It's mad brick, I got the blick with my cover on. He a fed, he a op, got his cover blown. Look, I'm really outside without no skilly on. It's one West, bitch, I'm on with my brothers on. He got ranked, then he left, he broke another oath. I got to play, we about to take another zone. They was sleeping on the team, now they comatose. Left his brother out to dry, I guess he wanna fall. Put the oil on his head, that's another soul. I try to tell him we a pro, don't do this shit at home. She unhappy, left her man, she a 304. He try to justify that shit, he broke the penal code. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Gotta watch these niggas, they be cointel. LeBron ain't never killed nobody, but I know he will. It's on me, yeah, where I go, yeah, that's the holy seal. My niggas itching when it's up, you better not touch a chair. Ooh, I'm with the extra, that's on the back. He ain't loyal to his brothers, how you follow that? She either working with her hands or she off her bag. Bro, bitches, yeah, they done that give me a heart attack. You see the banner above my head, I'm a part of that. These niggas cowards, pussies, we don't want no parts in that. They let our warrior out of prison, he ain't going back. And they'll be speaking on the truth, cause we with all of that. Look, before they started dissing, there was fans first. You will never catch me digging in no man purse. Really put my brick in, that's why my hands hurt. And don't be speaking bullshit that make my head hurt. Look, I done burn my fingers from the Michael Drake. For the brotherhood, I done threw my life away. I never see them, tell them come out from their hiding place. We can't do it, we told them we gon' find a way. They'd rather march 1,000 deep, we rather feed the people. They wouldn't put on all black, now he reading Hebrew. You became the standard if you speak on Hebrew. Don't think they solid, get with them niggas just gon' leave me. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hellstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UP cat nothing, we on fellowship.
Hey, they might be outside. All right, don't unmute yet. Don't unmute. You're gonna mute me now. Let's clap it up, clap it up, clap it up for the class. Clap it up for the class. Hey, shout out to Not Dissolved. That's his song. That's for all you traders that lead One West, man. And it's a lot of people. You know, shout out to this is gonna be funny. But shout out to Zabak from House of Israel. He said that ISBK are the HNICs of One West, and he was right. I just want that. Make sure y'all clip it, send it to that nigga. That's my boy. Like I mess with him like that, but he said on my page, ISBK are the HNICs of One West. Y'all know what HNIC stand for? Y'all just you know what it stand for? Say it. Say it. Head nigga in charge. Yeah, head nigga in charge. Yeah, as we should be. Good.
What prompted him to say that?
Because I put up my post that said only ISBK is the only One West. Commander Jenny Honda is the only one stayed, and we still here. So he commented on there, and you know what's crazy? And he commented, Captain Taiwo is married to his cousin. So I told him, I said, you might as well come on in. And like, what you waiting on? But he did. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Was it that same thing you told Gorilla Hebrew years ago?
Listen, man, brother, Gorilla Hebrew is like saying that name. I don't know how you say that, brother. That brother's name there? Lord be with him. And like I said on my Facebook post, Gorilla Hebrew is wicked as hell, and so is them bitches. Them bitches is just as evil as him, because I don't know a righteous woman that would do what they did with him. That ain't in the Bible. What I've seen in the Bible, when a woman does wickedness with the man, they both die together, right? That's in the Bible. It's it. The only thing, ain't none of them women Abigail. So all you bitches that was married to Gorilla Hebrew are still married. None of y'all are Abigail because you're telling the story. You're more like Malcolm X. You know why Malcolm X started telling on Elijah Muhammad? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. No, that ain't why he told.
Y'all need a mic if y'all gonna answer. You better have it. You gonna grab the mic? You want to answer, right? Yeah.
If I may, sir, it was because he was told to be quiet. They would not reinstate him from his position.
So you know what that means? The whole time Malcolm was allowed to talk. Oh, you sleeping with them underage girls? That's cool. I'm gonna be over here doing my thing, promoting. And then they told Malcolm, you can't talk. Now they talking. So when you see all these women coming out the woodworks, these bitches is not innocent. They just, because if you want to be right, it ain't never about being right with yourself. That's selfish. It ain't even about, well, I just wanted to help him. That's even worse. You're not helping him. You're hurting him. And all it takes is a fallout, betrayal. They ain't getting no money. Maybe he won't let you plug him anymore. Who knows? Ain't no telling what type of freakiness was going on in there. But when it was all good, it was all good. And clearly, he trusted the hell out of these bitches. He trusted these bitches so much, he texted. He texted. I mean, my God, the evidence is so astounding. Like it's in a sense, it's shameful in a sense, because in some of the messages, one sister was like, "Well, I'm not calling none of these women sisters. They all bitches to me." One of them bitches was like, "Am I the only one plugging? You letting other people play?" Like she want to be the only one to dominate her. And then he said something like, "Nah, I only let one like put the finger in my butt." Something. I mean, God, it's shameful, man. It's shameful. But I'm here to, as General Hyman would always say, I'm here to answer all your questions, solve all your problems today, and we can solve that problem. The only problem with solving that problem is that it cannot be something where you want to get help, but then you don't listen to the help. Cannot be that. But today's topic is our oppressor is shocked that we would fight back. Karmelo Anthony defended himself. That's today's title. And the reason why I picked this particular title and the whole shocked, because the normal way, what is the normal story? What is the normal story? What should have happened in this story? So for those that y'all familiar with the story. Okay, so Karmelo Anthony is a brother in California, a brother in Houston, high school teenager in school, good grades, the whole 9 yards. And then he says, and then as he's at a tent, now the story is he was not at his tent. So the white boy comes, tell him he got to move. Now there's rumors that he was a bully. The rumors of, so we'll take the rumors to the side. But as he's coming to him, Karmelo looks at it as a threat and say, watch what happens if you touch me. So the white boy touches him, he stabs him. The white boy dies. So now I'm gonna ask y'all, what would have been the normal way for this to happen? Sis? No, that's not the normal. Well, that's not completion of the norm. What is the normal way? Because that's not the normal way. Y'all just are. You got a normal way? You don't know the normal way. Anybody?
When you say the normal way, what you mean by that?
What is the normal way when black people interact with white people in this fashion? What is the normal way?
Oh, the normal thing will be
my damn phone on here, man. Well, go ahead.
The normal thing would be for them to submit to the will of the oppressor.
Right. The normal way would have been for Karmelo to get up out his chair, go about his business. Karmelo was sick of that. So we're going to get into that, and I'm going to show you why white people were shocked and why we're shocked at when we see black people stand up to this oppressor, why it's so shocking to us and white people. We'll get into that. But for now, I'll take any questions that you have. Of course, if you got any questions, you want to type your questions in the chat. What zones do we have today in here?
We got Florida with us.
Let's give Florida a hand. We got Florida up in the building. Let's give them a hand. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got?
We got Dallas.
We got Dallas. Big up to Dallas. I know Dallas and Florida. If y'all want to say something, you can chime in at any time. Of course, we got any questions in the room? Any questions? We got questions online?
We got one question online.
I've seen a couple. You might want to scroll up because there was a brother that typed in questions before class started. I saw.
I must have missed those.
Yeah, it was in Acts. I think he had a question on Acts something.
I'll check it for
you. Yeah, if you go all the way up to the top, it was like Acts something.
So I'll look for those. This brother asked, Salaki, sir, can I get a general breakdown of Hebrews 2 and 14.
Good.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14.
Mhm.
For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil.
So you want a general breakdown on what this is?
Come
What
on.
this is talking about? You got to go up. We could break it down outright. So read it from the top again.
Khan. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. For as much then as the children are
I'm
partakers.
sorry. I'm slacking. Go to read verse 9 in the same chapter.
Verse 9. But we see Jesus, who is made.
You can say Yahweh.
But we see Yahushua, who is made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory, honor.
So we know what that means. Christ, born down here, just like you and I, crowned with glory and honor, because he suffered and endured unto death, which is what you got to think about in these days and time. Like, Christ died on purpose. You trying not to die, but in order to not die, you have to live according to the commandments, which is different. Like, Christ came here knowing. Can you imagine? Like, his life was predestined, you might as well say. He knew when he was going to die, how he was going to die. He knew who was going to betray him. He knew all of that and did it anyway. Still obeyed. When you think about it, if you know you're going to die, you ever saw that? There was a song I was just listening to called 24 Hours to Live by Mace and the Locks. You ever heard that song, 24 Hours to Live? Just think, where would you go? What would you do? And in this song, 24 hours, because they knew they had 24 hours to live, they talking about all the things they're going to do because they know they're going to die in them 24 hours. None of it was righteous. None of it. They about to bang a broad. They about to blow the church up. They about to blow the police station up. All of that. Christ, knowing that he was about to die, still did what God said and was obedient to death. Whereas you that are living don't know when you're going to die, should be more obedient because you don't know. So now this is talking about Christ made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death. Keep going.
That he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man.
That he should take, like, he's taken the death for all of us. Like, he died for your sins. He didn't die for his sins because he didn't commit no sins. But we committed sin, so he died for the taste of death for every man. Keep going. I'm sorry. So now that's so you can understand when we read 14, what it's talk about in 14. So now read 14.
Khan. Verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood.
So now as we are born of flesh and blood, or we are born in this earthly body, keep going.
He also himself likewise took part of the same.
And it is so important to understand him taking part the same, because right now, I think tomorrow is Good Friday. Right. I talked to my daughter before I did this class, and at school they got her Easter egg hunt. First thing I said was, you know, that's not real. She said, yeah, I know, Daddy. That's just what they did at the school. Now, tomorrow is Good Friday, so they having an Easter egg hunt, and then tomorrow is Good Friday. You know why it's called Good Friday? Because they think it's good for Jesus to die so that they can keep sinning. They think it's like we look at Christ's death as, I'm never going to sin again because he died for my sins. Right. Christians look at it like, I can sin because that nigga died for me. Just think about that. I can continue to be wicked, and it's good that Jesus died so I can stay being wicked because I don't have to keep the law. That's what they're saying. So now it says that we were likewise partakers of the same. Keep going.
That through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil.
Now, the devil is you. The devil ain't just the demon that convinces you, because the demon does not take your hand and make you commit the sin. The thought comes in your head, like James, the 1st chapter says, let no man say when he is tempted, I'm tempted of God. But every temptation comes with your thought. Now, the more you listen to that thought, the more sin is conceived, and then you act on it. So without Christ, we couldn't go to the Most High without paying for what we did. And so that's the death that Christ tasted for us. Read 15.
Khan. Verse 15. And delivered them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.
You were always subjected to the debt that you owed. It's damn near like, imagine if you owe somebody money. Every time you see him, you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to avoid him because you ain't got the money, especially if he a bully. You ever see that movie, was it Bronx Tale? I think it was Bronx Tale, where the cat owed him money, and every time he seen him, he said, oh, I got to go see my mother. I got to go to my mother. I'm like, y'all probably got a little old. Y'all all look like, you know, I'm glad it's my wallet. I'm glad somebody know the movie I'm talking about. But in the movie Bronx Tale, he owed him money, and he always ran from him. And that's us. As we owe that debt to the Lord, you're running from him. And you know where you run? Because you still want to be spiritual, you run into the Christian church, you run into the Muslim mosque, you run anywhere where you can appear spiritual, but you don't have to pay a debt. That's exactly what you do. You got to go somewhere where the debt could be lowered and you ain't got to pay. So keep going. I'm sorry. So we were in that lifetime of bondage until Christ came, and then Christ wiped the slate clean. Like, you know, when you file bankruptcy, all your debts are paid. So now Christ filed for us, if I was to say it like that. Now all debts are paid, but you can't go back in debt. So you can't now be a sinner. Like, people got mad at me when I say I'm not a sinner. It's in the Bible though. And if y'all need the verse in the Bible as to, and I'll show you. Matter of fact, read the next. I think we good. Y'all don't need 16 and 17, do y'all? If y'all need it, y'all let me know. All right. Now do this for me. Go to 1 John 1 and 10. Go now, 1 John 1 and 8. Ask somebody asked me this because they got mad at me when I said I'm not a sinner. They got mad at me.
1 John chapter 1, verse 8. If we say that we had no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
Now, I just said I'm not a sinner. So the truth not in me? Now I want you to hold this verse, stay right in 1 John, and go to 1 John 3 and 9.
Khan. 1 John.
I'm gonna come right back to this one, but read that.
1 John chapter 3, verse 9. Whosoever is born of God do not commit sin.
Now go back to 1 John 1 and 8.
1 John chapter 1, verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves.
So how can you be born of God and not be a sinner? But then if you say you don't have no sin, we deceive ourselves. How are you going to answer that? Is there two mics or still only one mic?
There's really one mic.
All right, sister, you want to answer?
The other one, it works, but it got kind of like a reverb.
Okay. Come on, sis.
By following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Okay, that's not answering the question, though. The question I'm asking is, one verse says, if we follow God, we have no sin. The other verse says, the same writer says, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. So how do you explain it?
So like it, sir. It's talking about the past sins that you committed.
Exactly. That's what 1 John 1 and 8 is talking about. That's important. Like, you can't walk through them doors and you say I'm an innocent man. You can't do that. When you walk in them doors, you are a sinner. And then as you learning to obey God, learning what it is to do, what it is not to do, what's a sin, what's not a sin. Now, if God is in you, then you don't have sin. So 1 John 1, 8 through 10 is talking about when you start, when you repent. 1 John 3 and 9 is like, now I'm living for Christ. I'm living for the Most High. That's what that's talking about. All right. I'll take the next question.
Con. Quick one.
Did
brother.
You find that question that brother had?
I did.
Huh?
You want that one?
Yeah, because that was first. He asked it first.
Brother says, Shalom, Yahweh Shmi Al-Shabrakatah. Troopers of Carwan from Dallas, Texas. Salakia Adawan is Acts 18 and 13. What's the law that he broke?
All right. Let's read it.
Acts chapter 18, verse 13. Saying, this fellow persuaded man to worship God contrary to the law.
Let me see. Go up. So what this is talking about, when you read the story, I'm trying to see where I can start you at. Go to Acts 18:1.
Acts chapter 18, verse 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth.
So now, this is right after Paul gets the order from Christ to go and teach Christ. Because remember, Paul at one time was persecuting Christians. I'm saying that word because that's the word that's in the Bible, Acts 11:18. If you as followers of Christ, they derogate, and it was like, if we say nigga today, that's what Christian was back then, right? So as Paul is persecuting followers of Christ, Christ meets Paul. Now Paul is teaching to follow Christ. That's important. So now go to verse, he wanted Acts 18:13. Read Acts 18:11.
Verse 11. And he continued there a year and 6 months, teaching the word of God among them.
So now as Paul is teaching the word of the Most High, what else is he teaching? He's teaching about Christ. He's teaching about Yahushua at the same time. Read verse 12.
Verse 12. And when Galileo was the deputy of Achaia, the Jews made insurrection with one accord against Paul and brought him to the judgment seat.
Now here we go. Here's one of the first of many battles that Paul and the disciples had. They bringing him and causing the insurrection. Read the next verse.
Verse 13. Saying, this fellow persuaded man to worship God contrary to the law.
What is the contrary to the law? Because that's his question. What were they saying that he was doing contrary to the law? That's the question that he's asking. Anybody know? I gave y'all the answers. I broke it down. Sis? No. What the question is, what was Paul doing contrary to the law?
It's like he was persecuting the people that was following Christ.
No, because he stopped doing that. He's teaching about Christ. So what are they saying he's doing contrary to the law?
With Gentiles?
Nah, they ain't, this ain't 2025. So they don't even, it's all Israel.
Were they accusing him of violating the laws of Moses?
By
teaching about Christ.
That's what they were saying. What they was charging him with, they took him to court. They took him to court, said punch him in the face because he said he lived earnestly towards the Most High. So because what they said was breaking the law was teaching about Christ. When you go further, you'll see that he was taken to court. I don't know if it was in Acts 19. I'll tell you the chapter. Give me 1 second. I'll give you the chapter where they actually took him to court. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. In Acts the 23rd chapter is when they actually take him to court for that, because they was falsely accusing him. So to answer the brother's question, he wasn't breaking no law, but teaching about Christ was against the law to the Jews, to answer his question. All right, I'll take the next question.
Sir. Quick one, the brother asked, Shalom, Cap, I know it's lawful to warm or cook food on the Sabbath. Are we allowed to go to restaurants to patronize it on the Sabbath?
Is he in the school?
His name is just Horace Grant.
No, y'all don't know who that is?
No. I know who the actual
Horace Grant. The actual Horace Grant.
Okay.
That's the actual one. No, you should try. What you should do on the Sabbath is you should not go to the restaurant if you're a civilian. That's the best I could tell you. No, if you can avoid going to the restaurant, don't go to the restaurant. All right. Now, for us, as we are at the camp, it may be something unavoidable for us. We don't have those problems. All right. Yeah.
What about a day when we don't have camp?
Are you a civilian?
No.
Shalom.
Brother asks, Salaki, sir, if I may, is Jeremiah 51 and 20 through 23 a future prophecy, or has it happened already?
Say that one more time.
Is Jeremiah 51?
Let's read it.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
Uh-huh.
For with thee would I break in pieces the nation.
No, that has not happened yet. Did we beat any nations into pieces yet? No, that has not happened yet. No, we have not. There has not come a time yet. Like Jeremiah 16 and 16, when it says, behold, I will send for many fishers and they were fishmen. That's the state that we're in right now. Now, the latter part of that verse says, behold, I will send for many hunters and we will hunt men, which will go right in conjunction with Jeremiah 51. That has not happened yet. No. Good. You say who?
Most time correct.
We beat the hell out of the French.
Right. And then the French, where's Haiti at now?
In turmoil.
Shalom.
Kawakat.
Next question.
Another brother followed up on that and asked, why would someone ask if they can go to a restaurant when it clearly says no buying and selling?
I don't even know why you read that.
I wanted to. I figured you might want to.
No,
that's for cross the line.
You're supposed to.
That's for cross. Kind of.
You're supposed to be here. You know?
Kind of catch.
I'll take the next question.
Off the top of Zara says, Shalom, how about Shabbat Shabbat? Can I get a breakdown of Hebrews 12 and 2 through 4?
Hebrews 12, 2 through 4. Let's get it.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Looking unto Jesus,
verse 1.
Verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a crowd of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
So now what is this talking about? When it's talking about letting aside every weight, that's every burden. Like, it's a lot of times brothers come in here, sisters come in here, you have great burdens of, one of the greatest burdens is not even believing that you're forgiven for your past life. There's a lifestyle that somebody has done or endured that when they come into the truth, the memory of that burden makes it hard to move forward. Like, especially if a woman was a whore, if a cat sold drugs, it was real good at it and saw what it did to the community. If you unalived somebody, if you stole, whatever it is that you've done, sometimes that can be a heavy burden where you can never get over it. Then when you come into the truth and you start finding out all the things that you love to do that was evil, that weight can be heavy. So now what it's saying, you got to let aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, which can so easily push you back. And then let us run with the patience. Let us run with the patience the race set before us. The race set before you is like, it's not for the weak, but you can run it. Like, if you want to master anything, I don't know nobody that wants to be like a bum or a hobo. You want to be good at something. It could be your job. It could be women. It could be gym. It could be a video, whatever it is that you want to be good at. You know what it takes to be good at that one thing. So now the truth is supposed to be that one thing. And you start off as a race. As I think about Second Ezra, I think it's Second Ezra is the 7th or 8th chapter when it says the kingdom is like a great place, which there's one narrow road. On the right is fire, on the left is water. So narrow that only one can go at a time. Now, if it was given to you without having to go through the trial to get it, you wouldn't even appreciate it. That's why you notice a lot of rich kids be spoiled as hell. They call them like spoiled brats. They waste away the money because they don't know the value of hard work that their parents did to get it because they didn't go through it themselves. So we all go through something now so that you can endure this race. Now, if you don't set aside the weight of your past life, if you don't set aside them sins, that lust that you have, do you have to blow that rod knowing you got a man? Do you have to sleep with that man's woman? Do you have to get high? Do you have to sell drugs? Do you have to do any of those things? No, you don't. Not if you love the Most High like you say you do. Now, if you're just a sinner that's gonna take it up the ass. I can't. I be trying not to say no, but it's just such a wicked thing. Or are you gonna be a woman that your man tells you to put it in my behind and you're gonna do it? Or are you gonna set aside the weight? Are you gonna set aside the sin? Keep reading.
Verse 2. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith.
Now, why is it calling him the author and finisher? The author, because he gave us the blueprint. He gave us the spirit. All of them law, everything is focused and centered around the law. He gave us the blueprint of spirit to how to keep it. He suffered temptation. He did it all, and he finished the job. So now if he can, what's even heavier, the Father started the job that he finished. The Father sent him to die. Can you imagine the Father taking his best son, his best worker, and then unaliving him so that you can live, That's what the Father did, and that's what the Son did. So now Yahushua is the author and finisher of our faith. Keep going.
Khan, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God.
So if he can endure the betrayal, if he could endure, like we get brothers and sisters to follow us, we ain't raised nobody from the dead. We ain't made no blind see. Now spiritually we've done that, but he literally made a man see. He fed on multiple occasions people with fish and bread, multiple times. They were sending people down the house so that he could touch and heal them, and all of them niggas betrayed him, except the 12. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that type of betrayal? And he still endured that to the cross, despised the shame, which is why, like, the mindset that you got to have, especially if you in here, is you can't worry about what people say outside of here. You really can't. Like, I don't care what nobody says outside of here. What Ashaya Allah says to me matters more than the president, than any imam, than anybody, because he's in here. And so you got to just, like, if they, whatever they want to say about the school, you got to endure it, because we are under what the earth should see. Like Sakari, for example, if Sakari wanted to be right and have a contrite spirit, they would all get in all black in every zone that they in and get into this school so they can be raised right. That's the only way Sakari has a broken spirit and contrite heart. The more that Sakari fights for Gorilla to have that seat, fight to forgive that brother, instead of getting all black and getting in here, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Now, that's from the Lord. That ain't from me. And you ain't got to believe me. Just watch. And that's to all you. Y'all can clip that too. Tell them Sakari cats, get in all black, because until you do, you just fulfilling your lust. Because what you should understand, like that Ariella cat, he got a really feminine spirit on. You want me to prove it? His friend in the world was a gay man that he was pledging with, that he left the feast day to go hang with his gay friend, lived with this gay friend. And then the man that he picked as his leader, also gay. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Khan, verse 3. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your minds.
Now read that part again, because this is I'm assuming in 3 and 4 is where he has the question at.
Khan, for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself.
What does that part mean? For consider him that endured such contradictions of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your minds. What does that part mean? It's very, very easy. Very, very easy. It's very, very easy. I'm gonna read. You want me to read it one more time? Well, let's read it. We're gonna read it step by step. Okay?
Khan, verse 3. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself.
What does that part mean? Just that part. Y'all just are.
So like basically he suffered at the hand of sinners for no damn reason. It wasn't like
But
he
what
did
he
something
suffer?
wrong.
What did he suffer?
He suffered them calling him evil.
They say, right. Give me more.
Calling him evil and saying that he works for Satan.
There you
like
go. Now you want it. That's the contradiction. And y'all should understand that when we say God don't love everybody, they say we're a contradiction. When we say Joseph is the father, we're the contradiction. Now remember, this is off the back end of him enduring the cross, despising the shame. Now consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself. Now, if he's going through that, read after himself.
Khan, lest ye be worried and weary, and faint in your minds.
So what he's saying is, if Yahushua can endure the greatest contradiction, and he getting contradiction from sinners, and he's not a sinner, you should not be wearied or faint in your minds. And you cannot, like, you can't be weary when your mama's saying, how long are you going to be in that? When your rib is saying, how long you going to camp? For you Hebrew Academy graduates, how many Sundays y'all had to give up? I'm pretty sure your rib was mad as hell. You got to travel down. You got to minutes. Are you going to be an instructor again? You got to endure that. You can't be weary. Y'all got to get up 6 in the morning to get down to Philly to train. You running up and down hills, running laps, doing every push-up known to man. Listen, you got to endure your brother making a mistake in Hebrew Academy so you don't cuss him out for doing all the push-ups you doing. Can you imagine it's the same brother messing up and you doing all them damn push-ups and you looking at, just, oh, yeah, keep fucking up, man. I got to keep doing the push-up. You endure. Listen, you can't be weary or faint in your mind with being in this truth. And a lot of men and women do. A lot of men and women be in this truth because it's cool. They might look at the fringes. They might look at the garments. They see the brothers marching. They might think, oh, I can get more than one woman. All of those things make the truth look like it's cool. It becomes a fad or becomes a fade. And then you endure for a time and then you're gone. Because if you join the truth for a man, you're going to lead the truth. I'm going to just tell you. You join the truth for a woman, you're going to lead the truth. You join the truth for rank, you are not staying in this truth at all. Because once you don't, if you join the truth for rank, you ain't never even going to get it. You know how many brothers I know when I used to sit bored? You know how many brothers I know we say a rank demon? We call it a rank demon. They have, because they think that at this point, I mean, when I was a young man, y'all, first of all, I want to tell you, y'all spoiled. Y'all didn't grow up like me. Like, if New York ever want to know why it takes so long to get a rank raise, because of how I was raised. Like, we didn't get a rank raise so easily. Like, I didn't get my first rank raise for maybe like 2 years, something like that. But in your brain, you be thinking, oh, I wish somebody was in the car with me with, this brother thought he should get a rank raise because he got a permit every week. But that's what brothers think. I remember I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm doing this, maybe I'm going to get a rank raise. And you be thinking at this major council, you're getting the rank raise. And then you don't get the rank raise, and it's like, what do you do? And if you join to get that rank raise, you will not be in here because you're going to get disappointed. If you join for a woman and you don't get that woman, you're going to leave because you're going to be disappointed. If you join for that man, and that man was beautiful, made you smile, and he was your everything. You know when he stopped being your everything? Who knows? Yadazar. I know Yadazar. I know Yadazar. When you stop being your everything? When
you get that third rib.
When you get that third rib. Listen, when that woman is that new rib, oh, that woman is everything. And you know what starts settling in that woman's mind? Damn, he's so fine. You know he's gonna get another one. And then they call themselves preparing for it, and then you get another one. And if you join the truth for that man, you'll leave because you won't look at him as yours. So that verse is saying, be wearied and screaming, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. You cannot be in this truth for anything other than the love of the Most High, the love of our King Christ. You start there. Then you get the brotherhood. Then you get the sisterhood. You keeping these commandments. But it can't be for something tangible that can disappear. You was gonna say something, y'all desire?
I was gonna say also out of one, the children, having the peer pressure at school.
Oh yeah,
everybody
hell
is
yeah.
doing something, and then they
Mhm.
got to come home and they can celebrate Christmas. They
Right.
can do all the things that
Yeah.
society says normal.
That's a hard battle too. Them kids will put pressure on you. Let your little girl come home and she crying because she ain't get the Barbie doll she wanted, and she see her girlfriends come back from Christmas recess. Daddy, they got all their gifts and shit. If you weak and weary, you'll find a reason to get that Barbie doll. You'll find a reason to try to make it up to her instead of just telling her Santa Claus is not real. Their parents bought it. Instead of just telling the truth. Read the next verse.
Khan, verse 4. He has not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
Now, when it says ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin, what does that part mean? Verse 4, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have not yet resisted unto blood, meaning that you haven't resisted facing death.
A little different. When it's saying, now remember, everything is about you. You see Christ, he endured to the end, despised the same, sat down, so he didn't sin, right? Then the next verse is saying, considering that he endured the contradictions, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Then when it says, ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin. What does that part mean? Read verse 5. Now he didn't ask about 5. 5 may help y'all. Read verse 5.
Khan, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
So now, how do you get chastened by the Lord? Very easy answer. How do you get chastened or rebuked by the Lord? Sis, that's not good enough. How do you get chastened? What causes, maybe I'll word it better. What causes you to get chastened or rebuked by the Lord? What come? But what causes it? Only one thing causes it. Sinning. So when it says ye have not resisted unto blood, meaning you ain't remembered the punishment of blood. When it says striving against sin, you have forgotten. You have not resisted, meaning you ain't forgetting that if you do break this commandment, what's coming with that? The chastening of the Lord, right? The rebuke of the Lord, right? So if you get weary, if you get faint, ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin, you lost against sin. That's why verse 5 says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord. What comes with striving against sin, or what comes with sin? Chastening from the Most High. All right. Does everybody understand? If you don't, just let me know. Okay. All right. Let's try to take the next question.
Colonel Khan, Baltimore has a question.
There's something you was mentioning not too long ago. Something that happened recently in the Levi community. There's this sister, Christian, young sister. She just graduated school and went into journalism. And she's she got engaged with this brother in the same church. Now she told him that we're not gonna have sex until we marry.
Right.
So then he was having doubt about her and was watching her for a while until he got the password to her phone. When he went to her phone out of one, I mean, she's like a whole porn star out there.
Good Lord.
Getting by some brother.
So
he said,
the brother intelligent? Was the brother?
Well, the brother is what we would call like a vagabond in Haiti, smoking weed, like we would call
the one that she was sleeping with, right?
Right.
And then the one that she didn't want to sleep with, it was a good, clean, wholesome cat, right?
Right. The church boy.
That lets you know Women want thugs. Now let me stop. That's why UPK attracted, because we the real niggas, you know.
So what the brother did,
so wait, before you do that, all these prissy ass women always get done just like that. Brothers, you gotta have a greater discernment, man. That woman talk about she ain't get. Okay, finish with the story. Let me get the point of your story.
Because so the brother, he sent the videos that was on her phone. He sent the video to her people. To her people's, like, you know, close people to show that it's over. You know, the engagement is over. This is what she's out there doing, while she's telling, you know, him that no sex until they actually get married.
That's rough.
And they was actually engaged. So somebody end up putting it on social media. So it's a big thing, because this church girl who's in journalism,
right?
Because she's a public figure now. She's 10 times more famous.
Yeah, they all hoes.
Right, than she was already. Now, everybody in the church is telling her, you know, courage, you know, don't stone her.
Don't stone her.
Right. You know, they using the passage where Christ said, what Christ said, who is without sin, you know, cast the first stone.
Right.
So they're using that passage, but nobody is addressing the brother. They all, you know, encouraging her to stay strong. You know, this is not over.
Comfort the brother for trusting his hoe.
And nobody like saying something as far as the brother was engaged with this woman. So I am going to address it, but I wanted to tell you and see, you know, what you
gonna address it with? What you gonna say?
Well, that the Christian church, you know, produce these type of women. The Christian church is a place where you go, like General Muhammad will say, where dirty people go to feel clean, but they're actually not clean. They full of leaven. They full of hypocrisy.
Now, what you think she was doing before she got married?
Before she got engaged?
Yeah, no, before she got married, she was already engaged, right?
She's engaged with the brother.
Engaged with the brother,
right?
She having sex with her. What was she doing?
She was having sex.
Why was she having sex?
Because she's a whore.
It's true, but why was she having sex?
Because she has desires.
Now remember, she don't want to have sex with him until she's married. Now, what is marriage? Now, is it the same thing with Levi as it is with America? Like a piece of paper?
Right.
So now what does that paper mean to them?
To her, that paper will mean the actual marriage.
Yeah, see, now, because when you attack the Christian church, you want to show them that paper means nothing. The paper is what promotes whoredom. That marriage certificate makes everybody be a whore. Every single person. There's nobody on the planet outside of here that's not a whore out there that believes that unless I have that paper, I'm not married. That's what they all believe. So you got to attack that paper means nothing, because had she been brought up right, you know what she would know? She would know that man that's the drug addict, that's her husband. Now, would she have married him?
Probably not.
No,
because she can't bring him to the family.
She can't, because she can't bring him home, but she can hide him. She can sneaky link him, because she's taught that when she gets this paper, then, you know, men are taught, and this is a sad thing because women are not normally taught this, but men are taught. I know my daddy says, sow your oats before you get married. You ever heard that term, sow your oats? Sowing your oats is like, get it all out the way, because once you get married, you can't do that no more. That's the lie that we're taught. And that's what she was taught. She's brought up that, well, let me get all this because he might, and the questions that we have, women have, he might not be good. Let me go ahead and get this out the way, and then I'm going to be clean and wholesome for my husband when I walk down the aisle. They look at that as being born again. For women, they born again when they walk down the aisle. So they do all their whole phasing then. So if you attack it, you got to attack that marriage certificate, and you got to attack sex as marriage. We like that got to be put, like sex being marriage has to be pushed throughout the planet Earth. If people understood sex as marriage, Umar Johnson wouldn't go through what he went through. And neither would what's the guy? Anthony Edwards. Neither would nobody would go through any of the sexual deviant problems that they go through if they were raised up that sex makes you marry. You know what they might do? They might start finding out about the woman or the man before they sleep with them. But we're not taught that. We're taught that you're allowed to have free sex, that's not fornication until you get married. So I would attack it like that. All right, I'll take the next question.
Quick shout out to Captain Quad in the comments said, "Stop that shalom garbage. The correct way to say peace in ancient Hebrew is shalom."
That's the Midwest monster. I'll take the next question.
Baltimore has a question.
Go ahead. Stay on the screen. All right. What's going on, Baltimore?
Hey, shalom on the wall. Sir.
Y'all got a question?
So if I could, can I get a breakdown on Revelation chapter 5, verse 3? Like my question is really in like when it say the man it say the man under the earth. It don't say the man under the earth, but it reference under the earth. I'm just trying to figure out what is under the earth.
Let's read it.
So you want me to read it?
This
is Revelation chapter 5, verse 3. And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon.
Was there a man in heaven?
No,
that's not the point. That's why I asked you like that. When it's saying, and no man in heaven nor on earth, neither under the earth was able to open it, you know, Christians would say, see, it's niggas under there burning in hell. That's not the point of what this verse is saying. All this saying, when it's saying no man in heaven, because now here's how you know. Was there a man in heaven that could open it?
Lie.
There wasn't?
Oh, yeah, we talking about Yahushua, right?
That's a man, right?
He's
in heaven, right?
Khan.
So now, when it says no man in heaven, nor on earth, nor under the earth was able to open the book, and whether you go up high, whether you go up low, there was nobody to actually open the book. Under the earth is just like what I was about to say, putting what is it term? 5 on 10? Is that how they say it?
5 on 10.
It's like doubling down on how there was nobody to actually open the book. That's the point. That's all that it's talking about.
All right. Most high Christ.
All right.
In the comments, brother asked for a breakdown of Ecclesiasticus 30 and 9. He's wanting some clarity on the meaning of what it says about playing with our children.
Playing with our children?
Count.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 9. Conquer thy child.
What does that mean? Conquer. I know y'all gotta look it up. Oh, you know what it means?
Like to pamper, to coddle.
It means what?
Like to coddle the child.
There you go. So now, to conquer the child means to pamper or spoil, right? So now, so instead of conquer, it says, spoil thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. What does that mean? Yadazar.
Meaning, if you pamper a child and don't discipline them, that same child one day will be terrifying unto you.
That's correct, because he'll never learn to. You want to say something, Khan?
Khan, so what I was going to say is that an undisciplined child becomes an undisciplined adult.
Yes. So now when it says make thee afraid, you play with your kids too much and they won't never listen to you. Women do this. You know what women turn their kids into? They turn them into their girlfriends. They turn them into their friends. If they got sons without a father, they turn them into their boyfriends. They have an Oedipus complex. So now they conversating with them like they in a relationship with them instead of having a parent-child relationship. And fathers got to do the same thing. But this, both of them are saying this, when it says conquer thy child and he shall make thee afraid, play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. It's talking about doing it too much. It's not talking about not having fun with them. Remember, the point of Ecclesiasticus is for wisdom. So wisdom says there's only so far I go with my kid. When I had knockers out of my car chronicles, I let him play a little bit. Then at some point, hey, sit in the back, put your seatbelt on. And he do it. Thank you. And then I say, thank you. So he can understand when it's discipline and when it's fun. When it's discipline and when you can go play. But now you got to stop playing. You have to do more. Read verse 10, same chapter. And go straight to 11.
Verse 10. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end.
Keep going.
Give him no liberty in his youth.
Why is it saying give him no liberty in his youth? You can't wait till you're a teenager. You ever hear that term? I'm gonna wait till you get older. He'll learn it when he get older. Listen, I had my son, I think at maybe 2 years old, I gave him my iPhone. He know how to go to YouTube. He can find the cartoon channel he want to watch, and he just doing this. He know when to stop, which one he want to watch. He learning all that. You know why? Because kids are smarter than you think. Kids are learning everything about a child. When that child can't talk till they're like 1.5 or whatever, all they could do is just look and observe. And just like they know how to reach out, they know how to eat, they know how to watch, they know how to do all of that. So when you see them do something that you know they should not do, and you laugh at it like it's funny, you're teaching them, hey, I should do that again because daddy laughed when I did it the first time, so he gonna laugh when I do it the second time. Now, when you say no, don't do that, then their brain is gonna say, if I do that, daddy is gonna say no. So you have to make sure in their youth that you are disciplining them so that they can be trained as they get older. All right. Take the next question.
Kind of a quick one. The brother asks, Salakia, I don't want, if I may, can I get a breakdown of the meaning of Deuteronomy 23 and verse 8?
No, usually it's 7. I'm surprised we got 8.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 8.
Oh, well, you got to read 7.
Verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Now read verse 8. So now we know we talk about Edomites and we talk about Egyptians.
Verse 8. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation.
So who can break that down? Remember, it said the children begotten of them shall enter. I'm listening.
Did everybody get a piece of 11 bread?
I did not. I thought y'all was hating for a second. Yep, I sure do. Don't hate on me. Don't tread on me, man. I'm just messing up.
Is that like saying if Israelites took wives from them?
That's exactly what it's talking about. It is not talking about an Edomite, an actual Edomite. It's not saying that this white couple have a white kid, have a white kid, have a white kid, and then that generation of that white couple can come into the congregation. That's not what it's talking about. What it's talking about is when I was gonna say something crazy, but when the Israelite man has a child with one of them, they can't come in until the 3rd generation. That's what it's talking about. So let's say if a brother marries a white woman and has that kid would have to have a child with an Israelite because he's an Israelite. Would have to have a child with an Israelite woman, would have to have a child with an Israelite woman, have to have a child with Israel, and then they can come into the congregation. That's what that's talking about. I'm gonna say it one more time so y'all can understand. This is not saying white people can come into the or Egyptians can come into the congregation in the 3rd generation. This is saying an Israelite that has a child by an Egyptian or an Edomite, that child cannot come in until that family line. So the house of Tazariah could not come into the congregation to the 3rd generation if I slept with an Egyptian. That's what that's saying. All right. Who made the unleavened bread?
I really prepared it. I fried it.
Most High in Christ. Give Yadazar and his ribs. That house of Yadazar. Good job, bro. All right. I'll take the next question.
Come on, sir. Brother asks what the significance of the garment is in Christ's wedding parable of Matthew 22 and 11 through 13. Let's watch this.
Read. Is that Matthew 22?
Matthew 22 and 11 through 13. Matthew 22 and verse 11. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
Mhm.
And he was speechless.
Go up for now. For this one to understand this, you got to go read verse 2.
Verse 2. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
So, of course, the son of Jehoshaphat, the people coming to the wedding should have been the Sadducees and Pharisees, but they would not come because they did not want to dress appropriately, even though they were dressed, because they sat in Moses' seat. Now, keep going.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed.
Oh, good food.
And all things are ready.
Read verse 5. I'm going to skip you just so we can get down to it.
But they made light of it and went their ways, one to the farm, another to his merchandise.
So now they tended to what mattered to them, which is what the Sadducees and Pharisees did. They tended, what mattered to them was fulfilling their own bellies, taking care of their own work. They didn't give a damn at all about the king. Now, read verse 8.
Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
So now, but they which were bidden, they was not worthy to come in here. And the Pharisees and Sadducees was not worthy. Read the next verse.
Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
And that's what ISBK does. We go to the highways, and as many as ye find, bid them to the marriage. Go ahead.
So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests.
Now, why does it say both bad and good? Why does it say that? Yadazar?
When he says both bad and good, it's because when Yahushua taught his disciples to go to the 12 tribes of Israel, a lot of the Israelites were lost, following after Roman custom. They were in Ephes, that city. So they were not following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
So these Israelites will be considered bad.
Right. And here's something else. When y'all out there teaching, when y'all see the whosoever and all of you, make sure you understand that is always about respect of persons. That's always about respecting the rich, not respecting the poor. It's always like that. Israel has always been like that. They've always respected the rich and they never cared about the poor. So the bad and good is that too, because a lot of us judge our good and bad off of rich and poor. You'll feel sad for R. Kelly in jail as a pedophile, but the average cat that's in jail for pedophile, you want him in jail. You want R. Kelly out. Why? So you can buy his records and sing his song and go to his concert. The cat that is not R. Kelly, you don't care about him. So the good and the bad is respect of persons as well. Keep going.
So Salakia. And then when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Keep going.
And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Now, what is the garment, ladies and gentlemen? And it is not them garments y'all had at the Passover, even though they was fly. Sis, give her a hand. She got that one right. That's the garment. When the king comes and sees you to get dressed, he expects to see your culture on his culture on you. That's the dressing. That's what. And get Isaiah 52. Get Isaiah 52, and I think it's the first verse. Might be. Get Isaiah 52 and 1.
Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments.
Put on thy beautiful garments,
O Jerusalem.
O Jerusalem. Go ahead.
The holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
So when you come into this truth, you can't come into this truth and remain uncircumcised and remain unclean. You got to come in this truth on fire for the Most High and putting on a beautiful garment. Read verse 2.
Shake thyself from the dust.
The dust is that low state that we all was in before we came into the truth. You got to shake all that off. You got to shake all that off. Read after that.
And sit down.
No, read after dust.
Arise.
Arise and sit down, meaning sit in it. You ever say, I got to sit in this? Get comfortable in these garments. Don't be ashamed to be an Israelite, because if you ain't dressed right when the king come, you're getting thrown out. So the significance of the garment in that parable is that's our culture. That's the law, statutes, and commandments. That everything, that's everything that comes with being an Israelite. All right. I'll take the next question. Let me know when it's like 8:30.
Con. Brother asks, can the captain do a brief breakdown of Acts 2 and 44 through 47? What type of living and economic system did those first group of believers practice? Is it still alive today?
Oh, it's for sure alive.
Acts chapter 2, verse 44. And all that believed were together and had all things common.
Did y'all see that this weekend? Last week I saw. Read that part again.
Con. And all that believed were together and had all things common.
What y'all saw at the Passover week, like we call it the Passover. We know it wasn't just one day. Passover was Saturday. But when we say the Passover, it's a weekly festival. And what you're seeing is a fruition, is a completion of us consistently having all things in common. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing families come together, children, mothers, brothers, sisters. Some of us ain't seen each other in a year, but we on one accord. And that whole week is the proof of that accord. The sacrifices that brothers and sisters made. Sisters-in-law, I know a sister posted, she lost to slavery over the Passover. But that family being on one accord and having all things common meant that much to her. Keep going.
Verse 45. And sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men as every man had need.
The way you do that today is you go to isupk.com. They got this link called Tithes and Donations, and you give it up. If you in a city like a New York City, you bring your food, your clothing, your items that we can distribute to whoever needs them. That goes everywhere. California, Chicago, Indianapolis, no matter where it is, your possessions, your goods, you give them to the men, and then we give them out as they need. That's what we do in here. Keep going.
Verse 46. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart.
And that's why nobody starves in here. You let a brother be hungry, he gonna get fed. You let a sister need something, she gonna get it. So to answer the brother's question, that's what they did back then, and that's what we have done in ISUPK since 1969. That's what Commander Jenny Hanna has laid down since. So if you want to see it in real time, you have to get up in here. All right. Take the next question.
Con. Brother asks, Salakia Adawan, can I get a breakdown on Colossians 2 and 16, Baba Shah?
Yeah.
Colossians chapter 2, verse 16.
That's to let no man judge you or something.
Or
you go up. Start at 12.
Colossians chapter 2, verse 12. Buried with him in baptism, wherein also ye are risen with him through the faith of the operation of.
So now, as you buried with him, as you buried with him in baptism. Now, this is specifically, this subject here is specific, and it's going to tell you as we read. This is specifically about everything you didn't do as an Israelite because you didn't know that you were supposed to do it. That's this subject. So when it's saying buried with him in baptism, you are risen with him through the faith and the operation of God who hath raised him from the dead. Keep going.
Verse 13. And you, being dead in your sins and the uncircumcision of your flesh, have he quickened together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses.
All your trespasses here is talk about everything that you were supposed to do as an Israelite far as keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, all died with you. So it's not just talk about adultery, pork, lying. It's also talk about them Passovers you didn't keep, the Day of Atonement you didn't keep, any feast day that you didn't keep. It's talking about that too. Keep going.
Verse 14, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us.
And what was against us was, when you go to court, like if you go to court today for speeding, you get pulled over, they say you was doing 90 and a 70. This is what the penalty is. This is what you have to pay. So when it says blotting out the handwriting of the ordinances that was against us, it's talking about blotting out. You committed adultery, this is what happens. You slept with this white woman, this is what happens. You did this, this is what happens. It's blotted out all of those ordinances that was against us and was contrary to us, because we wouldn't be able to come back. But Christ nailed that to the cross. You know, the Christians believe he nailed everything to the cross. But what he nailed to the cross is everything, every ordinance that would have been against you. Now, before we continue, is it against you if you commit it after you've been born again? Is it against you, sis? Yes, it is. It's against you, meaning you don't have a license to sin. That's what Christians believe. Christians believe that because it says he nailed it to the cross, it's just to the cross. It's never on me, no matter how many times I commit a sin. It's not on me. Keep going.
Khan, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.
Now you can read 16.
Verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days.
So now the reason why that's there when it says let no man judge you, because normally if you didn't keep a Passover, you could be cut off. You didn't keep the Sabbath, you could be cut off. So now the reason why nobody can judge you for what you didn't do is because Christ nailed the judgment to the cross. But now once you nail it and you repent, you got to keep that Passover. You got to keep them feast days. You got to keep them Sabbath days. That's what that's talking about. All right. I'll take the next question.
Khan. A quick one. The brother asked, when it comes to marriage, is exchanging rings okay? If not, does Israel have any cultural thing to represent marriage?
Yeah, I mean, rings, first of all, rings is not even ancient. Rings is something that when they wanted to make money in America, if somebody look up when they started incorporating rings, they didn't, that rings is like a new thing. And what I mean by a new thing from American terms, as far as can you do it, if you want to have a ceremony of marriage, you can have a ceremony of marriage if you want to. The only ring on my finger is this shield. That's it. Just this shit. I'm not putting the ring on my finger.
It's not pagan, sir. The ring thing, it's a finger.
Yeah, it don't have to be on. Yeah, it don't have to be on this finger. But if you wanted to get your woman a gift because you want to get her a gift, that's not unlawful. You would have to look that up because it's just a ceremony. Like you can see, Jacob had a ceremony when he thought he was getting Rachel. He ended up getting Leah, but he didn't have a ceremony for Leah. So the ceremony and presents and gifts and stuff like that, if you want to buy your woman a ring, it's not unlawful to buy a ring. So it's but sitting there and talk about with this ring I thee wed, that's what you talk about. That we wouldn't do. Yeah, we're not taking this off and saying with this ring, I promise the ring ain't shit. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about if she says she want a ring and you want to get a ring because it's pretty, then you can get a ring because it's pretty. But the whole ceremony and giving her rings, and me personally, you shouldn't rush to do that. Just me, because when a woman wants the ring, you got to weigh that out in the spirit too. And I'm glad you said this, Shmawa, because spiritually, that woman that wants a wedding ring, she's still American. She's extremely American, because they ain't nowhere in the Bible that they bought a ring. So the only reason you want the ring is because it's American. Now it's jewelry, so the woman might say, "No, I just want it because it looks good." Well, we're gonna get it 6 years from now or something, since all it is look good. Take this bracelet or something like that. Get us something different if it's just about something that look good. But you got to weigh it out in the spirit if you want to do it. The ceremony itself is not unlawful. Hazahab. You kind what I was asking you? Kind. Yeah.
This is from weddingshopinc.com. It wasn't until World War II that men started wearing wedding bands to remind them of their wives back home. It was also a way to show their commitment. Come on, sir.
Yeah.
It was also a way to show their commitment to their wives while overseas.
Yeah. Now, you know what that is. Their wives didn't want them having sex with nobody else. And so, you know, to this day, and here's the crazy part, you know what men do to convince the women that's going to sleep with them anyway? They either take the ring off, they twist it, or do something stupid. And then a simple ass broad sleeps with them anyway. So no, you don't have to get a ring. You got to weigh that out. It's almost like blonde hair, right? But I don't know if I could blonde hair. That's some wicked shit. That's some crazy shit with the blonde hair. Okay, let me see. It's like anything that's not unlawful, but spiritually it could be American or it could be really Esau. You want to weigh that out in the spirit to see, am I doing this because I have not defeated this spirit here, or am I doing this just because I want to get a nice ring or something like that? All right. I'll take the next question.
Con. Brother asked about Ezekiel 16 and 36 through 41. Is that a prophecy of our current captivity? 16 and 36 through 41.
All right. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 36. Thus said the Lord God, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abomination, and by the blood of thy children which thou didst give unto them.
This is Israel back then, and this is Israel now. Israel loves whoredom, whether it's the vagina they love, the rod they love, or the pagan worship they love, like them wedding rings we were just talking about. Because they love that, they will give up and give in to that. And every woman will fight for a reason to have a ring. Every brother will fight a reason. It was Palm Sunday was last week, right? Everybody will fight for a reason to have a palm. Everybody will fight for a reason to celebrate Christmas and say it's about the kids. So that's this captivity. That's before we get into captivity, because we get into captivity from doing this. All right. I'll take one more question, then I'm gonna try to finish all that talk. Go ahead.
It's from Google AI. Got this from a couple websites. All right. The ancient Egyptians believed in the vena amoris, which is the vein of love on the fourth finger of the left hand.
Wait, say that one more time.
Ancient Egyptians believed in the vena amoris, which means the vein of love, on the fourth finger of the left hand.
So when they put it on the fourth finger, that's for Venus. But you saw it's Venus? Because
they say Venus. Vena is to say vein.
Vena. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and amoris is to say love. Vein of love.
Then I would say no. You should not get the ring. The ceremony is okay. That ring, it'd be hard pressed. Yeah, it'd be hard. It'd be hard pressed for the ring. It'd be hard pressed. You ask my ribs about rings. I tell you, it's a lot. The Lord be with you. I'll take the next question.
A brother asks, can you explain Galatians 3 and 19 through 25? Please, much respect.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 19. Wherefore then serveth the law. It was added because of transgression. Till the seed should come to whom the promise was made.
What does that mean? Wherefore then serveth the law. What does that mean, serveth the law? Read 18.
Khan, verse 18. For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise.
Slakia, read 17.
Verse 17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God and Christ, the law which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that that it should make the promise of none effect.
Now, what does that mean? What law is it talking about? Sis? No. Y'all deserve?
If I may, sir, it's talking about the law that the Israelites broke, the law, statutes, and commandments of God.
Not good enough. That's partly correct, but that's not good enough. Because in verse 18 it says, "For inheritance be by the law, it is of no more promise. But God gave it to Abraham by promise." Now, quick yes or no, y'all all agree that the law was here before we came out of Egypt, right?
Come.
Okay, so the law that was 430 years later cannot disannul. What is that law? Become?
Salaki, so would that be the law of circumcision?
No.
Salakia, the law of sacrifice.
No, simpler than that. Y'all gotta notice it. That's it. No. It's just the punishments of the law. That's all. Punishments. Remember, so when it says, "For if the inheritance by law," it would be, I'm sorry. I want to show y'all a verse. I'm mad I did the music. When it talks about the law, right? If it became by law, did we break the law? Then would we have a covenant with God if it was based on the law? We would not. That's why he's saying read verse 18.
Verse 18. For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise, but God gave it to Abraham by promise.
Now read 19.
Verse 19. Wherefore then serveth the law. It was added because of transgression.
Are transgressions the law too? That's how you know that this law is talking about the punishments. So this law that was added, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," is a law. When you transgress it, now there's a punishment. So now what they were doing in Galatia, they were serving that. They wasn't actually, like in here, we serve not being adulterous. What they were doing back then is they were serving stoning the adulterer. It wasn't about teaching you how to not lust after this woman. It was only, "I'm going to punish you or kill you if you sleep with this woman." But there was never a blueprint to stop lusting after a woman. Never a blueprint to stop cheating on your man or committing adultery with a man. It was never a blueprint on how to stop serving idols. It was only, if you break it, I'm going to punish you. That's what Paul is talking about here. So when it says by transgressions, read the rest of it.
Khan. So the seed should come to whom the promise was made.
Because without that promise from Abraham, Christ could not come here. That's the point that Paul is saying. What Paul is saying is that if it was based on the law, which we broke back in Jeremiah, Christ could not come here and redeem us because we broke it. But because of the promise that God made, no different than the promise that God made with David about Christ sitting on the throne. The Most High kept that promise because the throne that Christ sits on is David's throne. So the same way he kept that promise, he kept this promise with the children of Israel because of his promise to Abraham. So what he's saying is you can't punish people by the law and still retain God's grace of the old covenant. It's only through Christ that you can actually retain God's grace through the covenant. That's the point of that verse. If y'all need me to go further, we can go further, but don't say no and then get cut. So y'all need me to go further?
Come on, sir.
I knew somebody did. Keep going, brother.
The water. And it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator.
Go ahead.
Verse 20.
The mediator, of course, is talking about Christ. Go ahead.
Now a mediator is not
witness. You can see that, and I think in Hebrews, the first chapter, you can read that. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Now a mediator is not a mediator of one, but God is one.
Keep going.
Verse 21. Is the law then against the promises of God? God forbid.
Now, that's how you know that that's talking about keeping the law. And you got, when you reading Paul's letters, always remember the word law is always going to be either keeping the commandments or punishing somebody for breaking the commandments. And you got to know the difference when you're reading it. So now it says, is the law then against the promises of God? God forbid. Keep going.
For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law.
Now, who can break that down and impress me? Go ahead, Yapazar. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, what he's saying here is that, what verse was that? Is the law then against the promises? So like, sure, try to get the exact.
Yeah, it says, for if there had been a law given.
Right. So if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law. So basically, I'll take this analogy that we use in the UPK. If let's say if there's a cop that could pull you over and give you a ticket, and there's a ticket that can make you stop speeding, then you
exactly
stopping to speed will be by this ticket.
Yeah, he cheated. But good job. No, I'll give y'all the That's absolutely correct. Meaning, if there was a punishment that could be given that would make everybody stop, then righteousness would have been given by the law. What makes the punisher not being here and Christ being the punisher, it takes away you being able to pay for your sin. You can't pay for your sin now. As opposed to, imagine, like right now, you don't stop speeding because you got pulled. Who stopped speeding because they got pulled over? Nobody. You get multiple tickets. Now you're sitting with the lawyer trying to work it out with the DA prosecutor to make sure you don't get your license taken away. And then you know you're going to go speeding again. You're going to speed away from the courthouse. So now what the Most High did was he took that. He took the crutch away, because that's what they was doing back then. They would just had a sacrifice. And as long as they were sacrificing, they felt they was, well, you know, it is in the law. So as long as I sacrifice this, I can do this. As long as I sacrifice, I'm straight. That's why when you'll see in the Old Testament, when it says bring no more sacrifices, he didn't want the sacrifices no more, because the sacrifice means you're guilty to the Most High. The sacrifice is not a good thing to the Most High. That's why Christ was only sacrificed once. Imagine if Christ had to keep getting sacrificed. He'd just be somewhere nailed, getting punished all damn day. But that's why that's not there, because your obedience without the crutch of a sacrifice shows the Most High that you fear him. Because the scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. It don't say the love of the Lord is the beginning. The fear is the beginning. So that's why that verse says, if there had been a law that could have given life, righteousness would have been by the law. You need me to go further? Yeah.
I just don't remember, how do Christians interpret that? I know they have a twisted way of.
Oh, they tell you if there was a law that could have given life, righteousness would have been by the law. That's why we ain't got to keep it. Yeah, we ain't got to keep no law. The law don't bring you to life. Jesus brought you to life, and he nailed it to the cross. What he nailed to the cross? The law. What you gonna say, sis?
David got caught in his,
You gotta hold the mic, sis. What?
Oh.
Jesus Christ. It's on, sis.
It's just like when David was caught in his crime, and the prophet came and told him what he had done, but he didn't repent right away. He waited because he thought
he never repented until the prophet came.
Right. So then when he repented, that's when God said he wasn't going to kill him.
But God still punished him, though.
He punished him, but he didn't kill him.
All right. Do you need any more? Okay, you're good. All right.
Quick shout out to the super chat. It's 8:40.
Okay, yeah. So I want to get into the subject of our oppressor is shocked that we should fight back, right? So I want to play. You got the videos I sent you?
Sir.
Let me see which order I want you to do them in. So I sent Aishaya Allah some videos, right? The first video, do you got the one with the brother that got choked out in New York City?
Sir.
Can you play? Get that one first. I want to show you something. So now, for those that don't know, Karmelo Anthony, young black man, intelligent. He got like a 3.7 GPA in college. Excuse me, in high school. Athlete, runs track. Right now, he just got out on bail. His bail was $1 million because he unalived a white boy. The white boy came to the tent. Apparently, they saying Karmelo wasn't supposed to be in the tent. We don't know if that part is true. The white boy come to tell him to move up out the tent. Karmelo don't want to move up out the tent. As the white boy trying to be aggressive with him, Karmelo says, if you touch me, watch what happens. And like every indignant white boy, he decides to touch him. Now, why do white people think they could do anything to black people? Who knows? Very simple, very easy.
They just think they got authority.
Because they've been doing it for years. For 500 years, as long as we've been in here. Like, I was doing this interview with Mark Lamont Hill. I said white people are inherently racist, right? This morning on Clubhouse, like 8 something in the morning, Wax sent me this text, hop in the room because they got a white girl in there. She mad because I'm saying they're inherently racist. And I'm telling them that they is. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, from a kid, they're taught to be racist. Go on my Instagram page real fast. Go on my Insta. I'm gonna show y'all what I mean. Go on my Instagram page real fast. I'm gonna show you right where to go. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Keep going, keep going. You're gonna see like a little picture with a little kid. Let's see, keep going, keep going. Wait, keep going. God damn, I post a lot. Come on, keep going. Is it that far down? Keep going. Let me see if it's keep going. I may have to look myself. Keep going. It ain't a picture of no, you must have passed it. Scroll up a little bit. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all what I mean by inherently racist. Keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Do I got to find it myself? What
you looking for?
When they was doing the doll test. They was recently doing a doll. No, you passed. Let me see if I can find it. You're going to see like a little white kid in there, right? I'm going to see if I can find it quicker than you. See. Bear with me 1 second, y'all.
I got it.
You got it?
Nope, that's not it.
No, that's when the little kid. Wait, no, play that one first. Play that one. Play that one while we find. I love these little kids right here.
Yeah.
What? I love these little kids right here. These are some free little boys right here, boy.
I will. I just sent him someplace.
No, you gotta bring it back. You gotta bring it back so they can do it.
Like he have one side of the world.
So they can hear exactly what he said he will to. So they asking him, would he enslave white people? That's what they asking him. Go ahead and play it.
Make white people slaves? What do you think?
I will. I just sent him someplace. Like he have one side of the world and they had the other side, but just let them have a little piece of it. They say we do a big brick wall and say the same thing.
What's that?
That they have a little side and we build a big wall so they can never get over, and we have a big side.
Why would you do that?
And other people,
so
they won't get on our side.
I mean, you think they just mess up or what?
They be trapped. If they try to get over, we'll shoot them.
Well, why would you do that? I mean, you think they deserve that?
They deserve it. Yep.
Why?
Because they killed some of us. They chained some of us. They whipped some of us. Yeah. And they stabbed some of us. Yeah. They shot some of us.
Now them are some good kids. Get them kids in here.
Damn right.
Nah, that's all. I still can't find it. Okay,
Quick
so
shout out to Malik for the $10 super chat.
Nah.
And did you hear, sir? They
I think Hollywood saw this and say, "Damn, we need Superman. We need to start coming with some white superheroes."
I'm listening. I'm mad as hell. I can't find this video.
I think stuff like that. I remember when Elon Musk came in with the Doge,
Mm-hmm.
right? The government efficiency department, and they had a program to pay Arabs to play Sesame Street on TV, because that's the thing that was keeping them from, the young minds in Arabia to not commit jihad in America.
That's say that. Break it down again. Say it again.
Remember one time,
I'm about to email it to you.
Commander Jehan was the Commander Jehan or Jim Hyman was talking about Sesame Street was to teach black kids and white kids to be tolerant of black children because of all of the colors of the people in the cartoon.
Right.
And then Elon Musk was like, I don't know why we got all these Sesame Street programs. We pay millions of dollars for Arabia, Saudi Arabia, to play these Sesame Street because it came from here. You know what I mean? To teach people to be tolerant of someone else who's not like you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why when you see, listen, every cartoon you see is to teach you to be tolerant. When you watch SpongeBob got a damn sponge, a crab, krill, an octopus, all of them living. They got a damn squirrel down there. All of them just living together to think that they kumbaya. But they're all gonna look at one like they're scum. And I'm gonna show you. You got the video yet? I want y'all to watch this video. When we say inherently racist, I want y'all to watch this. The ugly child.
That one. Show me the dumb child. Dumb child.
Right there.
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
You ain't gotta have me on the screen. For them to see. I don't have to do
The ugly child. That one. Show me the dumb child. Dumb child.
What?
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
Because she has black skin.
Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child?
Because he's really dark.
Show me the dumb child. Why is she the dumb child?
Because she looks black.
Show me the good child.
Now these are all white kids.
Why is she the good child?
So now we like to think that they only did the doll test back in the 50s. No, this is what I mean. When I say inherently racist, they didn't have to teach them who the ugly child was, who the dumb child was. They knew exactly who the dumb child was, and it was the dark one. So when that white boy comes to Karmelo and thinks he's going to move, he believes he's going to move. Why? Because I'm white, he's black. He's supposed to move. The white boy said, the brother said, I'm not doing that. Texas is a stand your ground. So now Karmelo is standing his ground. When he puts his hand on him, and for those that don't know, verbal assault is justifiable means for stand your ground, because you can't measure somebody's fear based off of that. So even though it's not aggressive, like I'm gonna kill you or something like that, any verbal assault that brings about fear, you can make it self-defense. That's why even when they caught him, they asked, but they didn't catch him. He stayed there. And that's another thing to think about with this brother. He stayed after he stabbed him. Like if you and stand your ground is if you feel verbally attacked, you can defend yourself. And nobody can measure your fear. You can say, I was afraid of what he would do by his verbal assault. And you can defend yourself with verbal assault. I'm gonna show y'all the clip of someone shooting somebody. I'm gonna show you. So then he stabs him, and he didn't run, which is impressive, because most people, when you do something like that, you would run. He didn't run. He stayed right at the scene. When the cops came, he said, is that self-defense? The reason why he's saying that is because he's not running, because he's defending himself. So they can't even paint. And here's the thing which America is mad at. They can't make him a criminal. They can't make him a thug. They can't make him dumb. They can't even say he ran away. He stayed there. And so now the earth is in an uproar over this. So I just want to highlight, can you give me the one? I'm going to show you something. So now they mad because black people are supporting him. Because of course, white people, they don't just hate him. They hate the whole family. Family got to go into hiding. Now, don't play this one yet. Is it play the oh no. Yeah, play this one. Play this video first. Play this video.
Put a threatening passenger in a chokehold on a New York subway has been acquitted in the man's death.
This is Denny.
26-year-old Daniel Penny was cleared of
choking this man to death, a black man to death. Go ahead.
Criminally negligent homicide charges in the 2023 death.
Because of the writing, y'all probably can't see. He's got this brother in a truck. Now, he's not a police officer. He's not a security guard. He's not none of that. New York don't have stand your ground rules. That guy in the subway station, I think he imitated Michael Jackson or something like that. He didn't do nothing to him, but yet he choked him to death. and was acquitted. Now, who knows what his reward was for doing that? Who knows? Yeah, his reward. Not you. Nope. You can't answer. I don't know. What? No, I don't know. I don't know if I want you to answer. Sis. Freedom, yes, that's his reward. What else? You know, Kayana Thou? Let me see if Kayana Thou.
It's like it, sir. The president brought him to college game.
We got it. Now he choked this brother to death. Right? A black man to death. He had no right to choke him. He got acquitted. You got acquitted with Trump. Trump. Yeah. But let's can you play it?
That he believes Daniels is a good guy and that he hopes he's able to have some fun at this game and appreciate.
He said Daniels.
His courage.
Now, why do y'all think he's a good guy? Why do y'all think he said Daniels is a good guy? Because Daniels unalived a black man. Daniels got away with it, where the vice president and the president says Daniels is a good guy. New York's mob district attorney tried to ruin his life for having a backbone of unaliving a brother that was in a train that did not have a weapon, that did not have anything. So when they try to make it seem like we're wrong for standing with Karmelo because he defended himself in a state that allows you to defend yourself. What Daniels did is not in a state that allowed you to defend yourself, and he wasn't even being attacked by this brother. What's the next one you got?
He said about nature.
Yeah, come
on. He's able to have fun. Appreciate how much his fellow citizens
Admires his courage. You know what his courage is? You know what that means? His fellow citizens, meaning y'all do the same thing to a black man. And if Karmelo does not stand up against that white boy, who knows what that white boy does to him? If Carmelo Anthony doesn't pull that knife out and defend himself, you know what the story would be? White boy beats up another black boy, and it would just be the norm. Because the norm, what's the shocking part to white people is that a black man actually defended himself against the white man's attacks. Because we will rather shoot 100 niggas before we would defend ourselves against one white boy. That's the norm. You know how gangster nigga, listen, that shit in California where you got to check in. When has the white boy ever had to check in? What white person flies into California and then got to check in with the gangs in California to be safe? He can't go to Roscoe's. Wait, no, a white boy could go to Roscoe's and get chicken and waffles. A brother got to make a phone call so niggas don't kill him. So that's the norm in America. So white people know that too. White people look at a black guy, oh, I'm just going to do what I want to you. And that white boy thought he was going to do what he wanted to Carmelo Anthony, but not that day. Carmelo said, I'm going to defend myself this day. And he had every right to defend himself. What else you got?
Lead detective
Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse walked outside with the AR-15 and shot black people. Now, he was found innocent too. Play it.
videos that are now critical in the case.
Now, this is him.
Jurors shown never before.
People, Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't in danger. He also wasn't a police officer. He wasn't in the army. He wasn't security. He wasn't nothing. He just a white boy walking through the black neighborhood and shot black people. And he was found not guilty too.
He shot white people.
Shot white people too? I don't care who he
just white people.
Oh, he's damn. I don't know if I feel bad about that. No.
Video from another angle of the Rosenbaum shooting.
But now he's allowed to walk through that city with a AR-15, shoot people. Now, Daniels, Rittenhouse, Zimmerman, the cop in Minnesota that unalived George Floyd, they all got millions of dollars, well, hundreds of thousands of dollars in support from white people. Nobody batted an eye. Karmelo was getting financial support from black people, and the earth is trembling because how dare you may set a precedence that black people don't want to get assaulted by white people no more. That's the big picture. The state of Texas, them country white folks is learning there might be some niggas that don't want to accept your assaults, that don't want to move just because you said move. Why do I have to move because a white man said move?
Right.
Now, let's say if he was like the security or something like that, where it's his job to make sure things are in a set order or a set way, then there's a professionalism where you got to obey whatever that security guard is paid to do. But some average white guy can't just tell you to move, and then you just got to move. He's a damn teenager like him. But because they have that dog complex, because they see his skin and say, well, I'm white, he's dark, I can tell him what to do. That's why he did it. He found out that day, Lacombe.
So that kind of reminds me of the incident about what's the brother's name? Aubrey something, who he was shot and killed for jogging in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He did nothing else.
There's nothing else. Somebody get me Psalms 13 and 2. The scriptures I want you to give me Psalms 13 and 2 and Psalm 73 and 6. And Psalm 73 and 6. Who has 73 and 6? You got that video I sent you with in Virginia? You get that video?
Kind in Virginia?
Yeah, look at your email. It's a video I sent you. No, not that. Never left. I thought I sent you. I didn't send it to you.
Salaki Cap, which one do you want first?
I thought I sent it to you, Salaki. Psalm 73 and 6.
73 and 6.
I thought I sent it to you. Let me check.
The book of Psalms, chapter 73.
Don't read it yet. I don't want to check and see. I thought
The only thing I got left is the Alabama Brawl.
The who?
The Montgomery.
Just the Montgomery Brawl, that's it? Hold on. You can read the scripture, Salaki.
The book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 6. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain.
That's what it talks about. When it's talking about the so-called white man, his pride is what is hurt. Like what Karmelo Anthony did, destroyed that white boy's pride, destroyed America's pride. Just seeing if I can, you don't have, wait, no, I can't do it that way. Let me save it first. It destroyed his pride. Keep going.
Kato Khan. Violence covereth them as a garment.
Now, what does that mean when it says violence covereth them like a garment? Who could break that down?
That's just what they rock every day. They just default to violence.
That's it. When they talk of like America, when they try to make it seem like let me know if you get this email I'm sending. When they try to make it seem like black people are violent, there's nobody more violent than America.
Right.
There's nobody more violent than white people. White people wake up thinking unalive. And they're training their kids to shoot. When they get old, they shoot. I'm gonna show y'all this video from Virginia where you're gonna see that all they shoot. It says violence covereth them like a garment. That's their reputation. Take it off of Israel. You name me what country they don't go in with violence. What country that they've ever been into, that they've ever set up a military base and it hasn't been through violence or bloodshed. I gotta approve it, man. Oh, let me just approve this for the brother. Hold on. Approve this. Bear with me 1 second, y'all.
I made sure real quick.
All right, do you got it now? Good, I'm listening.
We will be closing out the Feast of Unleavened Bread this Sunday, sundown, April 20th, sundown. We will be closing out the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right.
Right. Let me see if I can send it.
Right. And everybody should be here in headquarters or whatever ISUPK school is near you to celebrate the closing of the feast with your family. Did you see, sir? You said the $1 million bail. They lowered the bail, and then they attacked all these Edomites attacked the judge that lowered the bail.
Yeah, they doxed her.
Yeah,
they doxed her. With dox, for those that don't know what doxing is, meaning they reveal your address. Like even the Karmelo's family, they can't live where they live in because the father can't work the job. They can't do none of that because he stood his ground and defended himself. Now, that fear that they going through, that's what y'all go through every day standing for this truth. You know, y'all on the FBI terrorist list, y'all on all of that. And these are all the things that we're going to all go through. But their shock can't be your awe. to where you don't believe that you can stand your ground too. Because the opposite of standing your ground is dying. Karmelo might not be here if he does not stand his ground against him. It'd be another story. You know what the normal would be? Wait, before we play, you got it now? Can you play that video now?
What? What's that?
So you bring it to the beginning.
What?
You get rid of me altogether. There you go.
What's that?
Now pause it. Bring it back. Just pause it. But bring it back to the beginning so I can set the stage. Now, in this video, this is another example of stand your ground. This is in Virginia. This is going to be a YouTuber is about to walk up on a white boy just with the phone, trying to film him. And then watch what happens. Play it.
What? What's that? No. Stop.
Shut it out. Shot him. Not guilty. Shot him in the mall. And that's self-defense. Now, if he can, all that guy did was put the phone. This is what I mean when I was telling you, the verbal assault. Your fear is what you interpret. So he looked at it as fear. He didn't want to be filmed. Like, what are you doing? Put me on camera, and shot and popped his ass. So now, if a white man could shoot another white man, for sure, Karmelo can stab him, defending himself. He didn't. If Karmelo would have just whipped out the knife and just stabbed him for no reason, he'd be in jail. He'd be a criminal. But the fact that he stood his ground and did self-defense, that's what pisses white people off, because how dare you go against the norm? And the norm is for us to bow down. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Give me the Montgomery Brawl. Play a Montgomery Brawl video. You could get rid of me when you play it. You could just make me as small as possible. Wait. Oh, wait. I'm gonna have to send you another one. Hold on. That one too, my bad. Hold on, I'm gonna send you another one. Hold on.
Okay.
Because the one I want to send you, Digger.
You want me to play this one while you look?
No, I don't want you to play that one. Just bear with me a second. Where's the other scripture that I asked for? Psalms 13:2, I believe, was the other one. Whoever has that can read that for me, Bubba.
The book of Psalms, chapter 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long shall
read that with some power, Salah?
Sir. How long shall mine power be exalted over me?
Wait. How long shall what?
How long shall mine power be exalted over me?
Keep going.
Verse 3. Consider and hear me.
No. Read it from the top.
Khan. The book of Psalms, chapter 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily?
Having what?
Sorrow in my heart daily.
Keep going. Now, the sorrow in the heart daily is what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians suffer every day under this oppressor. When it says, how long shall I take counsel in my soul? Meaning, how long am I just supposed to sit and accept what the white man has given to us? Accept their crumbs, accept saying, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Bow on my head every time because I'm in such fear. You know, the barrel of laughs. You ever heard the term barrel? You know where that come from? Because black people couldn't even laugh. If they wanted to laugh, you had to go to a fucking barrel, put your face in the barrel, and then laugh in the barrel. You wasn't even allowed to laugh. And that mental oppression, them dolls, you know, when they show black kids the dolls, you know, they say the black kid is the ugly kid too, right? And the white kid is the beautiful kid too. So how long do I take counsel? How long do parents teach their kids to belittle themselves to white people? You ever notice mothers and fathers, when they're around the black kids and they're around other black kids, they can act as wild as they want. When they're around black families, they can act wild as they want. When they go to the supermarket and they're around white people, don't you notice they tell them to be quiet? Don't do this, don't do that, because they don't want to embarrass themselves in front of white people. They don't care about black. So that's it. When it's saying, how long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? Bowing to the white man is having sorrow in your heart daily, because it's not a natural thing to bow down to any race of people. You ain't got to believe me. Do white people bow down to a race? White people don't bow down to their own race. If a white man is offended, he just shot his own another white person. If they're offended, they will storm. When they was offended at Joe Biden getting in office, they took a shit in the White House. Their soul ain't in sorrow. If their soul ever gets in sorrow, you will see the violent nature as a garment that is dressed upon them. That's what you will see. And so Karmelo, he was tired of that violent on him. He was tired of some white guy some white kid telling him to move when he didn't have the authority to tell him to move. That was not his job. It would have been better. You know, that white boy would be alive if he'd have just followed the rules. If he would have just went to the security and said, hey, this guy shouldn't be here, I got an issue with him, then the security would have took care of his position, because that's what he was paid for. But instead, he came to a brother that was tired of bowing down to white oppression. Read after that.
Karo Khan, how long shall mine enemy be exalted over me?
And listen, like it gets further expounded, like when you come into ISUPK about the enemy being over us, because we tell you how to properly defeat it. And then Karmelo did it in a legal way, because he's going, oh, is that file too big? That can't be too big, man. It's like you might have to play the one that play the one that I sent you, because it's saying this one is too big.
I was gonna say you could Google Drive share with me.
You said what?
You can share it on Drive.
I'm gonna see if I could do it that way. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. Oh, they got me doing more than one. Hold on, let me see. Let me just check this out. Bear with me 1 second, y'all.
Okay. Quick shout out to the Zones joint. Trinidad joined us halfway through. Shout out to Trinidad.
Come on, this can't be. This is not that big. Let me see. It might go through this time. Fuck yeah. No, it's not going through. You can just play the one that you got. So the Montgomery Brawl that I wanted to play, right? The only difference with this one is that this one had watch till the end on it. You ever see them videos where it says watch until the end? Now, why do y'all think when the Montgomery Brawl video played, it said watch until the end? Who knows why? Sis? That's true, but why did it say, why do you think it says watch to the end? Y'all
I may, sir, to get the full context of what is actually happening. Meaning that if you don't watch everything, you might think that the brother is just, or the black people are just beating on the white man. You're not gonna get the context
don't start off with the black man beating on the white man.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The beginning of the video starts off with the white man
attacking.
Right. So why does it say watch to the end?
So that we could see, so that we can see black people actually standing up for themselves.
So why does it say watch to the end? You're right. We're gonna see black people standing for themselves. But why does it say watch to the end?
To see the glory of us standing for ourselves.
You're getting me to the end, but you ain't getting me why it says watch until the end. Asha?
Because that's not how it usually goes.
Because that's not how it usually goes. You know why I'm saying watch to the end? It's hard to get me to watch every time. If I'm scrolling on my timeline and I see cops abusing black people, I don't even watch it half the time. If I see a white man doing something to a black man or a white woman doing something, I don't even watch it. Because the norm is this is what white people do to black people all the time. Why do I got to keep putting that into my mental? That watch until the end, because the first time in a long time, play the clip. This got to be something. This should be real black history right here. Play that clip.
Not to leave it there, and they left it there.
You got to show me on the screen. Yeah. Now watch. They would have seen when we threw that hat in the air. Now they attacking him. You know ain't nobody coming to save him. Another white man came and attacked him. Ain't nobody coming to save him. Who gonna come and save him? Nobody. And then all of a sudden, wait, look. Then all of a sudden, what happened? Niggas start coming out of nowhere, out of the woodwork, and run up on them. That's why it said watching to the end. Because if you don't remember the first 30 seconds, you just see white men beating up a black man. And that's the norm. You know, the shock heard around the world was black people beating the shit out of them. That's what this Karmelo Anthony case represents. The shock around the world is that a white man was not allowed to touch a black man without suffering the consequences.
Not to leave it there, and they left it there.
What everybody should learn is that you should never put your hands on somebody without accepting the consequences. And black man and woman, Hispanic man and woman, you have every right to defend yourself. With that, I pass the class to Priest Malcolm.
Men of Israel, Imajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we are going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. One courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Imadim Shabbath, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakatham, Yajim Matah, which means hands down, Sar, which means turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imadim Shabbath, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al-Than Ba'Shem Yahushai. Yajim Matah, class dismissed.